It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
How you doing? This is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to the Sports Lodge on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Oh!
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC. Annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
This week's episode of the Sports Lodge is brought to you by the Peacock Network, bringing you Olympic coverage all Olympics long, as well as original hilarious comedic content like Rutherford Falls, The Amber Ruffin Show, and Girls Five Eva. Ha 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 ha! Peacock, check it out. And now it's time for the Sports Lords. Ow, ow, ow.
Hello, everyone. What's up?
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, just right off the top here, we address it. The elephant in the room. Jimmy is on a secret mission right now. We have sent him out on assignment. So because he's in a remote location and he doesn't have his computer or anything like that with him, he's having to join us. So you won't be able to see his beautiful face during this broadcast, but you're going to hear those pipes and that dulcet sound.
Yeah, I apologize to all the surfs out there that he can't see me today. But like Diego said, I'm doing a super secret, super special mission that you guys will be hearing and reading about in the news very soon. So stay tuned.
Yeah, well, and good luck to you on your mission, Jimmy. And I can't
Thank
wait
you.
to read about it in the paper of record
and hear about it.
Yeah, you're going to be reading about it and hearing about it. You guys might not be hearing from me or seeing me again, but just know that in life sometimes there are causes bigger than oneself. And that's all I can say.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And it's very selfless what you're doing and very dangerous.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank
And
you.
very brave.
Yeah. I think that's a really important aspect to focus on is my bravery.
Mhm.
So I appreciate that. Yeah.
How's the new house life, homeowner gym style treating you?
It's pretty cool. It's I haven't lived in a house many years, so it's kind of wild to go from living in dinky apartments for most of my adult life to having lots of space. So that's cool. But yeah, no complaints so far. Would recommend 5 out of 5.
Right on.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that you, Jimmy, are
winning.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, Charlie is in the studio. Just leaned over to the mic and
yeah, I just point to him and he reads that line.
Yeah.
He loves reliving the most hectic, chaotic, and damaging part of his life.
Yeah, he loves still talking about when he had a mental breakdown for everyone to see and kind of ruined a lot of relationships in his life. But we love him for it.
We appreciate it.
He's a good guy.
Oh, great!
He's done some great films. Great films.
Yeah.
How was your week, Diego?
Oh, it was great. It was really, really good. Enjoying the summer here in Buffalo. Balmy, like low 80s.
Okay, so you're being
fantastic.
At first, I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, it's great. It's
okay, good.
It's like one of the best summers I've had in a long time in terms of weather.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I've been enjoying watching, our corporate overlords go to space. That's been really cool.
That's very exciting. They're going to leave us here to burn alive. That's awesome.
Actually, Jeff Bezos said that because I've been reading up and hearing a lot about this. There's I forget the name of it, but there's this thing that happens to astronauts and people that go to space that when you actually see the planet from space, it changes your perspective and it makes you feel things and want to be better and want to take care of it more and want to do stuff. So Jeff didn't really experience that because he's a soulless piece of shit. But when he got back down to Earth, Jimmy, what he said, the reason I interrupted was because rather than them, I also thought these billionaires are just going to leave us and go to space and leave us here to burn. What Jeff wants to do is he wants to take all our pollution and all our factories and move those into space. So they're going to move all of us schlubs into work in space, and they're going to stay here on the planet to clean it up.
Oh, that's wow.
Historically, when we colonize other areas and bring our industry to them, it works out pretty good.
Yeah,
for sure.
So
definitely does. Yeah, I saw people online. I don't know if you guys saw any of this, but I guess there are people who speculate that Jeff Bezos takes HGH, a la a baseball player from the early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, which is an interesting theory. People say he's kind of got the Kumail Nanjiani face and skull and chin jaw definition, And people say his voice is lower than it used to be.
Oh, come on,
So-
dude. It's Jeff Bezos. It's always sounded like this dude. I
Yeah,
had never
I'm
heard him
just-
talk, and it was
I've
jarring.
always been an alpha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. When he put on that cowboy hat, I immediately related. It was like, oh, he's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, you forget that he's from New Mexico, so he's a real cowboy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Real space cowboy now.
What's more of a cowboy move than starting an internet book business?
Well, that's the thing I was going to say. Can we stop calling him and these other billionaires geniuses? He started an online book thing that like started just selling other crap. Like that's not a genius move. That's like anyone can do that. He was just the first to, think of it. It's not a genius maneuver. He's just a capitalist douchebag
Yeah.
who flies
the
in a
whole
really
reason-
sexy rocket into space.
Yeah, his Dr. Evil penis rocket.
Yeah, that mushroom head rocket was real sexy.
Isn't it? It's like, how did no one catch that and flag that as an issue? It's just an image issue. Like, hey, Jeff,
Just PR, yeah.
Mr. Bezos, your rocket looks a lot like a penis, and
Yeah.
people are gonna make fun of you because the internet just lit up with people comparing him to Dr. Evil.
Mm-hmm.
It was right there,
Mhm.
but I have a feeling he surrounds himself with yes people who would be way too scared to bring that up to him. Yeah, I don't know. The him and Zuckerberg, and I guess
Like
Richard
Zuckerberg-
Branson did the
yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
Yeah, like Zuckerberg got rich because he made a website to rate hot girls at his college. He's not a genius. He's just a perv.
He's just a horny guy.
Yeah, he's just a horny guy.
Yeah, if that makes you a genius, then we're all geniuses. Come on.
That's
And
true.
then Richard Branson somehow skated, I guess because his didn't look as much like a penis, and he's
Nah.
slightly more able to be a human being, at least appear as one. He didn't get as much flack. So
Yeah, man. It's 2021. If you're gonna build a rocket, make it look like a vagina, okay?
mhm.
Yeah.
Enough of the
seriously.
patriarchy. Make a vagina
Yeah.
rocket. Get in the space.
Take a
that
vagina
way.
rocket and take Lizzo up there with you, and then we'll get behind it.
Right.
For some reason, take her up there. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, other than that, guys, pretty happening sports time right now. Those Milwaukee Bucks went and did it in
They
Milwaukee.
done did it.
They did.
And yeah, Giannis is a champion now. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I hate to start off the show with a hot take because I know we're a show all about hot takes and we really love other shows about hot takes because that's really fun to do. But I got to get my hot take out there right now about this finals. Giannis, he's pretty good.
Whoa, whoa,
Pretty good at
easy,
basketball.
Damn.
easy,
Whoa.
Diego.
Yeah, I know.
We don't want
I
to get in
know.
hot water right off the bat.
Look, hey,
Jeez.
man. Yeah, he was.
Um,
Come on! This is the weirdest soundboard ever, by the way. Like, why does anyone need that? Oh, come on! Oh boy.
Yeah, and I stopped working on our other soundboard, which I should get back to it.
Yeah, get back to it. Otherwise,
It wasn't a fun.
but yeah, Giannis did it, and
He's incredible, man. Like that last game was one of the best ever finals performances, just even regular playoff performances of all time. Like Giannis was putting up prime Shaquille O'Neal type stats. And if you're like into stats, then come on, that's like the best. I mean, it's unbeatable.
well, and to me, the thing that proves his clutch factor in that game, beyond all the most amazing stat, is that he was like 16 for 17 from the free throw line.
Right. The one
It's
thing
like
he couldn't do, he did.
Yeah. So it was like he wanted it and he got it, man. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
and it's hard, and we forget, but like he basically like looked like he exploded his knee
right
in the series prior. That had to have been hurting him throughout that series. Like, there's no way that just felt great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he still did it. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, pretty amazing run because they kept going down in every series. People counted them out, and then they just go on a run. And so congrats.
Yeah, I got a report to you here that Bessie the cow was unfortunately milked to death after that last game. But
yeah, if you weren't listening last week, because Milwaukee is the cream city, they did a special promo that we advertised where if they won the series in Milwaukee, every fan bringing their own buckets could milk Bessie the cow, a very large cow, and get fresh teat milk after the game. Unfortunately, didn't work out.
She sacrificed herself for the greater good.
She did. And
wow.
And she wasn't the only one, because some chickens sacrificed their lives because I don't know if you guys saw it, but the day after winning the NBA championship, Giannis went to a Chick-fil-A drive-thru and he ordered a 50-piece nugget. So he earned my love because that's what I would do.
He matched his point total in nuggets from the game before.
Yes. And
yeah,
hopefully he went, I don't know. I usually go Chick-fil-A sauce and Polynesian sauce, a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys do?
You know, I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know Chick-fil-A sauce was a thing until the last couple of years. I'd always strictly been a Polynesian sauce guy.
I also didn't know that, and someone turned me on to Chick-fil-A sauce, and I was into it. But
I go Chick-fil-A sauce and BBQ. I like the barbecue sauce, even though the Chick-fil-A barbecue isn't like that great. It's like fine, but I'm not the biggest Polynesian sauce fan.
That's fair. That's fair.
Sorry.
I have a problem with that.
I know.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say you lose. You lose the sauce choice.
Yeah, well,
it is. I have to say, it's
my body, my choice.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fair. Respect that, Kevin. But it's incredibly wholesome on Giannis's part that's how he chose to celebrate. And I have to say, there are so many hateable professional athletes across every sport, but Giannis is he's insanely likable. That's part of what makes this championship great in my eyes.
Totally.
I agree. There's nothing unlikable about him because he's the oldest of his brothers, right?
Yes, I believe so.
He's got an older brother vibe, and now all three brothers have an NBA championship. They all got a ring.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
But going back to like the real story here and talking about Chick-fil-A real quick, I have a question for you guys. When you get the sandwiches, what do you sauce them with? Or do you sauce them at all?
I definitely sauce them. I go mayo, but I have gone Chick-fil-A sauce on the bun because there's definitely mayo in there. I don't know what all goes into the Chick-fil-A sauce, but there's mayo.
Yeah, I just do mayo on my sandwiches.
Same here. I just go straight mayo, and I usually peel the pickles off.
Yeah, I'll eat them.
Exactly. I'll eat
Jimmy
them separately.
Jimmy got
no.
it.
I keep the pickles on. And 9 times out of 10, it's just mayo. And once they started doing the spicy chicken, I went spicy chicken sandwich.
Yeah, for sure.
I usually go spicy as well.
Yes, agreed on that front.
I think we talked about it before. I might even throw in a mac and cheese because once they started doing that, I mean, I'd put their mac and cheese up against just about anybody.
And I will say, like, not to defend Chick-fil-A too much or whatever, but it really bugs me like when people are like, they don't even put sauce on their sandwiches. Like, Yeah, man, that leaves it open to you to sauce it however the hell you want. It's not that hard. Like when people complain about stuff like that, it really grinds my gears.
Yeah,
not
really,
just at Chick-fil-A, but like anywhere.
It chaps
It's a
my
dumb
ass
complaint.
too. Dumb complaint, and it's like that just shows that they have confidence in their products.
Yeah, it speaks
Right.
to the quality of the chicken.
But also it's for the consumer, it's better because you can do whatever you want. Like I don't like going to restaurants where it's like, oh, can you sub out that actually and put this in for me because I like that better? Like that's more of a pain and a problem than a blank slate that you can kind of create and do whatever you want with.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I've just heard people bitch about it, and it like really, it's like, so what? Just dress it however you want.
People complain a lot about Chick-fil-A, and
About
I get
everything,
it, but I'm just like, look, man, build a bridge and get over it. These are all bad companies, but they make good food, and that's been pigging out with the Lords.
But yeah, congratulations to the Bucks. You done did it. Enjoy it. That's cool. You saved your Mike Budenholzer's job because he was about to get fired at every step of the way.
Yes. And I just want to point out, I think one thing that I don't think any fan likes is that when in America, when a team wins a trophy, the first people they let celebrate are the owners or the ownership group.
Yeah.
And that's like the last thing I want to see.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
We talked about it before, I think, where it's like in soccer, I feel like they get it, where it's like they give the trophy to the captain of the team, and the captain joins the rest of the team and they pick up the trophy because they're the ones that did it.
No,
not some billionaire douchebag who
some old fat white guy.
Yeah.
And I
get out of here.
I think like international soccer gets it the most because whenever someone wins a league trophy, they do what you just said, and then they like raise it up and the crowds go insane. There's like fireworks, they take it around the stadium. It's very exciting. Watching the Bucks win, it was so anticlimactic to me.
Yeah.
Because first of all, the game was basically in hand. The outside people were going insane. In the arena, it seemed like it just kind of like people were just standing there waiting for a celebration. Then a bunch of people came on the court. Then these like schlubby older white guys came up to accept the trophy. One of whom who seemed pretty soused. And they talked about, it's like no one gives a shit. Like, yeah, great. You fielded, like you shelled out the money to make a great team. You hired good people. Fine. But no one watched because of you.
Yeah.
We were watching because of Giannis and the team around him, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. Pat Connaughton.
The NHL does it right too. Because they give the Stanley Cup, I believe, to the captain as well, and then the whole team skates around with it, which is great.
But it's baseball, football, basketball in the States where I don't know when it happened, because I don't know if it was always the case, but now it seems like every time they win, you see some blue-haired white guy come up.
Yeah, they give it to Wesley R. Edens, the lead owner of this Bucks ownership group, the co-founder of Fortress Investment Group and founder of New Fortress Energy. And we all love it. We love it.
Yeah, I was going to ask how Wesley Edens made his fortune. So that's cool.
He also owns the esports team FlyQuest, and along with another partner, he's the majority shareholder of the English Premier League club Aston Villa.
Oh, that's Birmingham's team.
So he began his career working for Lehman Brothers, who's done nothing wrong ever to this country.
Good guys.
To the people of this country, especially around 2008. They were awesome. But yeah, that's where he began working. So yeah, he's a good dude. All finance bros are.
And that shows kind of like that these guys are dumbasses. Because if I don't know, if you were in touch with how normal people are and your fans are, if they were like, all right, we want to present the trophy to you first, you'd just be like, no. Let the team do it, and then I'll come up and say something at the end. I don't know why, like, who's getting it. It's just an ego thing, I guess. But let's focus on the positive. Giannis, great job. Bucks, great job. I'm personally thrilled that it wasn't the Nets or the Lakers, and it was like a small market team,
right?
And come from behind in like every series. Cool to see. Hopefully next year it'll be the Hawks, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
And tough ending for Chris Paul. He'll have to go back and try again. Phoenix, I think, will be back. They seem like a really good team going forward, a good young team. So Phoenix fans, you'll be all right.
Yeah, it was cool to see Phoenix get that close.
Yeah.
They had some rabid fans, which was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Good
series.
all around NBA playoffs, I think. I think it was fun. I know the injuries marred it a lot for a lot of people, but injuries happen all the time. And we got to see some new stars emerge, and some future NBA guys. Not having a good time, speaking of basketball, is Team USA at the Olympics, because they dropped their first game against France, and not a good start.
No.
And
I watched that, actually. I did.
Does France have any, like, because I know in the past they had like Tony Parker, but do they have any big NBA guys on
Rudy
their team?
Gobert, Evan Fournier, I think Nicolas Batum also plays on France. They got a decent amount of guys.
Solid team right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the US, I know they had Kevin Durant. I haven't really kept up who else is on that team.
KD had a bad game. He only had like 10 points. He was limited to 10 points. Chris Middleton, Devin Booker, and Drew Holiday flew straight basically from the finals they got there like the night before to Tokyo.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, props to them, but I feel like, especially because we just talked about how this is the no fun Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty selfless act on their part, because they had the choice of partying and celebrating their trophy or flying to Tokyo and like sequestering in a room and playing basketball more. So
yeah.
Well, I think they all think, just like a lot of fans and like maybe the players, they all still think that they can just walk in and win by 40 every time. But the rest of the world is getting good at basketball now. And the US has the biggest target out of any team. I mean, I'm sure maybe like Serbia and Croatia or some of those teams have like a deeper history of hate, but when it comes to straight up basketball, it's like the US, like everyone wants to knock them off. I mean, even if you don't win a medal, it's like, oh yeah, but we beat the US, like that's a big accomplishment for them. So
right.
And all teams have NBA guys now. You know what I mean? So it's not like it used to be.
Yeah, it's a global sport now, but this is the birthplace of basketball, and
the US should still win. They're better, but
yeah.
And they still can. It's just one game.
What do you think that flight for Devin Booker was like with Chris Middleton and who was the other Buck?
Drew Holiday.
Had to be a little awkward there.
Yeah, if I'm Devin Booker, I'm taking sleeping pills immediately, and I'll see you boys in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Is Giannis playing for Greece, or is Greece even in it? No.
I don't think anyone else in the finals is there. Luka just set a record. I think he put up 48 in an Olympic game. I think it's the highest point total from a player in the Olympics. But Luka also can't get out of the first round of the playoffs. So who's laughing now, Luka?
Oh
yeah.
I'm kidding. I like Luka, like whatever. He's good too. But Team USA could have used a little bit of Trey. I'm glad he's not there. Don't get me wrong. But they could have used him. But they got to win their next two to get out of the group stage, which they can do. but they just can't relax anymore. They got to play. They got to really bring it.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Or, yeah, I'm not sure I'll see because I don't know how much more I'm going to watch of the Olympics, but one will see.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to be the top dog like that because it's basically gold medal or bust for the men's basketball team. So a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's like, I get that it's good to have stars in it in general. You have a better odd of winning. The ratings, which is all that matters anyway to these people, because it's all about ratings, are good. But it feels like, I don't know, I'm not saying go back to college, but like because like the big complaint that they have is that like other countries, their teams like know each other, they play each other a lot with each other a lot and practice with each other a lot, so they know each other, where the US gets kind of thrown together last minute. And so they don't have chemistry yet, and they're still figuring each other out and like what they do. But it's like you could still field a squad of like NBA guys, maybe not like all Kevin Durant, all LeBron type guys, but like have them practice like in the off season a little bit from, you can field it in advance because these guys are good. Or you just get like top college prospects, like, mix them in with some NBA guys, and then you don't have to rely and hope that these superstars all say yes to playing for Team USA, because I understand they want to break too. Like, they don't get a huge break by going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it could be more interesting to have to I don't know, to like handicap ourselves a little bit, just to like, because it's like it's just the U.S. men's team is always expected to win because we always have superstars. So it's like it's not really that fun. Because it's just like it's win a gold medal or you're a disappointment. So I don't know.
And then if you lose, everyone comes down on them, and so it becomes a whole situation of like, oh, these guys are terrible, whatever, how we are with criticism. So then it's like you're putting them in a bad spot for that as well. So you could sort of protect these guys a little bit, and then still also make it kind of fun. I don't know.
No, I agree. They should they should work some college players in, or make it like guys 24 and under or something, or do something to like make it a little more interesting.
Because like in soccer, for example, like teams don't field like their A team. You know what I mean? It's like the A team for Spain was playing in the European Championships just now. Right now they have like an under 23 team basically. So it's like some young, they mix in a couple of old vets or whatever a lot of times, but for the Olympics, usually it's the young guys that go. It's not the A-list Lionel Messi's, at this point or anything playing there. It's the up and coming stars. Sometimes some veterans that want to get a gold medal just to get one, but it kind of makes more sense to me. And I feel like in basketball, it could work that way too.
Well, all I know is, I just looked it up. The next U.S. game is against Iran.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose to Iran, I don't know a lot about that team, but I'm guessing they're probably the worst team in the whole thing. Then maybe it's time to change things completely.
Yeah, if they lose, we'll all be saying,
"My God Almighty!"
I will be saying that. Yeah, looking at all the teams, like, I'm pretty sure like all of these countries have a substantial NBA presence except for Iran and Japan. So I'm guessing those are two of the worst teams, but who knows? Should we move on to a little bases ball?
Yeah, if you like.
Do it.
Because there's a lot of bases ball news to discuss. First of all, your Cleveland baseball team has changed its name from the Cleveland Indians, which is their current name, has been for a bunch of years. And they're going to change next season to the Cleveland Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland Guardians.
Sponsored by Marvel?
No, It's just a happy coincidence.
Okay.
Some nerd suggested the name online a couple of years ago, and they took it and ran with it. Apparently, it's a nod to some statues on a bridge in Cleveland. And I think they liked it because the font looks very similar. It ends in the same 4 letters as their current team name.
Mm-hmm.
They put out a new logo that looked kind of like I designed it on Microsoft Paint. So I'm going to give this 2 thumbs down and say this is a big L for the city of Cleveland. Now, I understand wanting to change the name, move on from the ugly history because they had Chief Wahoo, very offensive mascot for a while. I personally, hot take, I don't think the name Indians was like inherently that offensive or bad, but I get if they wanted to, didn't want to offend anyone. I get it. I don't know. That's just my take.
I know, and I forget why exactly, but spiders, a lot of people were suggesting spiders.
That's what people wanted, yeah.
That seems like a much better choice, in my opinion, than Guardians. Like, Guardians sounds like an arena football league team or like a football team, like a fake made-up football team from like an action movie or something.
Or like a rec league peewee football team.
Yes.
Yeah, it does not sound like baseball to me.
Or like
a
Space Jam team name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad they moved on from the name. I'm glad they got rid of the imagery. For that. It's great, but I don't love Guardians. I was looking up some of their old names, and I didn't know this. They used to be called the Broncos, but it's spelled Bronchos, which I was like, why not go with that? The Bronchos. I think that'd be
cool.
cool.
I mean, that is a cool name. It's unique. It feels a little minor leaguey just because it's so quirky. If it was the Broncos, I don't know.
I mean, it's pronounced Broncos. It's just spelled differently for some reason. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I get it. I mean, they'd moved on from Chief Wahoo a long time ago and like gotten rid of that. And I don't know. I'm like, yeah. I mean, there are team names like Washington changing their name. I was like, absolutely. That's like a really ugly name. I just personally was like, and I know my opinion, like, I'm not affected by it, but I'm like, is that inherently offensive to just have a team called Indians?
Yeah, because you're making a group of people a mascot.
Right.
And they don't want it. So if they don't want it,
okay, a lot like majority, let's say, don't want it, fine. But like, I don't know, it's like the Seminoles, that's still a team name.
Yeah,
and
but they pay them.
Okay, so what if
Native Americans don't like it? It's just the Seminole Nation gets money from them.
Okay, so what if they paid all Native? What if they made this huge donation? Would that make it okay, or is that like?
Well, you'd have to ask Native Americans.
Okay, I don't know. That's just my take. It's like and I know it's not. You can't equate the two groups because the history is much different. But it's like there's the Celtics, there's the Fighting Irish, there's the I don't know what are some other ones.
But you don't have a group of Irish people arguing, or like saying that it's offensive. So it's like, if you did, then you consider it. I think you'd have to consider it. But like,
yes,
I don't know. I mean,
that's true. I mean, I don't know.
I'm sure there are Native people who like the name, but there are Native people. Obviously, there are lots of Native people who are offended by it. So whatever the breakdown is, I mean, there probably are more Native Americans who are offended by the name than ones who aren't.
Right.
But ultimately, like everything else, like these are just big businesses and it's a PR move. So they've taken more and more heat for it over the years. So they're just like, all right, we've just got to protect ourselves and move on from this. And
yes,
they're banking on the fact that, if anybody stops rooting for them because of the name change. They're at this point they're okay with losing people who will stop rooting for the team because they're not the Indians anymore. But they're probably right in assessing that most Indians fans will stay on as Guardians fans even if they hate the name.
Right.
That said, I don't think it's going to age well in the way that like the Washington Wizards hasn't aged well. Like that name is still terrible to me. I don't know. It's just kind of cheesy sounding, but I is it better than offending people? Yes, but
Right.
I don't know. They could have chosen something.
Yeah,
less
it's like
Disney
Spiders
movie.
seem to have the public opinion from what I was seeing. Like people really wanted spiders. Like people were on board for that one.
Yeah,
And like the logo, the potential logo things that people put out there look kind of cool, and you could have done a lot with it. But again, I famously don't like nicknames for teams. I think it's lame, and I think it's too family oriented, and it doesn't matter. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, there were multiple names I saw floated, like Spiders. I even think Rocks, even though that's a little too close to the Drew Carey show. It's
yeah.
something like that could be fun, something incorporating their rock and roll history, or like, I don't know. It's just Guardians is so weak and the logo is so bad.
It's just generic sounding. It's just way too, it's like, yeah, even Rocks would have been better to me because it's like, it's dumb, but at least it's like, oh, that's kind of like that aligns with like their identity as a city. So
Guardians to me makes me think of prison guards for some reason, or like you're guarding like a dungeon or something. Cause like, I mean, I don't know, a guardian. Again, I think of like, or the Beefeater hat guys outside bucket. Like that's a guardian, right? That's a guard. That's what in my head I think of when I hear that name.
Yeah, I have more of like a fantasy novel type association with that, or even like a biblical thing. It's like a mythological world kind of thing. It's lame.
So yeah, the Cleveland Guardians. Well, there you go. There you have it. It's a thing now.
But
before we go, go ahead, Jimmy.
I was just gonna say, Diego, like you were saying, how mascots can be lame, and yeah, like of course, European soccer leagues, none of those teams really have mascots, right?
They sort of do, but it's not like prominently displayed. But they have them in this because there are kids that watch, and I get it. You want to appeal to kids, and you want to do it,
Yeah, but it's not like part of the club name in a way, right? Yeah,
right.
So like that's what's kind of interesting with the Washington football team, because honestly, that name has kind of grown on me a little bit. I don't know. It's kind of dumb, but there's like, I do kind of get the appeal of just having the team associated only with the city.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. Sometimes it's like there are a lot of bad mascots. So I don't know. It's like they could have been better off just being the Cleveland baseball team. Even.
Right.
I think it really works for American football. Like I agree, a Washington football team. I'm like, just stay with that. You have good colors. You don't need a mascot. I do think in baseball, like the mascot is a little bit, I don't know. I don't think
it's more of a thing.
Yeah,
right.
I don't think you can split it up. Like there's a mascot that runs around the stadium and does antics. Unfortunately, the Braves have Blooper, which is just a weird thing that we've talked about. But their actual, team name, which I'm wearing the jersey, so probably a matter of time before this gets changed, I would imagine, but maybe not. I don't know. So
they said they're not going to do it. So
I believe that this current ownership group and front office won't do it. They're pretty conservative and pretty unwilling to bend. They seem to want to do other PR things to ingratiate themselves. Like they just did a whole celebration of the Cherokee tribe at the stadium, and I think that's their PR move of like, look, we're including the local native groups, and sort of like you were saying with the Seminoles, like that's our way to like, hey, they're cool with us, so don't be mad. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. There's like, as far as expansion teams go, like the Washington Nationals kind of weak.
Yeah.
But there's Diamondbacks sort of dumb. Marlins, okay, fine, pretty good.
It's not
but
bad.
Yeah, but there's like a friend of the pod, Luke Mayu, made a good point. Like I bet you when they announced the New York Mets, the New York Metropolitans, people were like, "What the fuck is this?" And that's one that probably it kind of aged well. Like it's sort of endearing. It's a stupid, dumb name, but it works.
Yeah.
Before we get off this, I wanted to go back because Jimmy, you had mentioned real quick, and I don't think we talked about this in the past. You had mentioned like if it was like sponsored the name when we were joking around at first. We never mentioned that Michigan State basketball is sponsored and has been sponsored and will be sponsored for the next 5 years.
Oh,
they are the Michigan State Spartans presented by Rocket Mortgage.
That's right. I forgot
and we had never talked about that, but yeah, man, hell is real and we're living in it.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Amateurism, right?
Yeah. I'm not able to pull up our show sheet, but I'm sure we're going to touch on some college football topics today a little bit.
We'll get through the baseball and we'll get to that.
Oh yeah. There's not a ton to talk about. I'll blow through baseball real quick. It's just we got trade deadline approaching. A big trade was Adam Frazier is now a Padre, the second baseman for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So
which the Padres didn't seem to give up much
to
get him.
Yeah,
which is kind of insane.
Yeah, I feel bad for the city of Pittsburgh because they love their Pirates, but they've just been suck-assy for a long time and seem to just let any good player go. Garrett Cole, now Adam Frazier. I mean, the list goes on. So the Padres, I mean, that's the division to watch in the NL is the West because, and speaking of, the Pirates just took 2 out of 3 against the first place Giants. So that's kind of crazy. What else? Oh, and then for our Braves, tonight starts a 5-game series with the first place Mets. So that kind of is going to decide whether they buy or sell. I kind of think if this season so far is any indication, the Braves will win 3 out of the 5, just barely tread water, and they'll make like one small bullpen addition, and that'll be it, and they'll continue to be kind of mediocre for the rest of the season. That's my prediction.
It sounds right to me, actually.
Yeah, the way this season is going, that's
yeah. I think they have a doubleheader tonight.
They'll find a way to beat Stroman, and they'll find a way to beat like some of the other solid pitching, and then lose to the back end rotation guys.
They'll get one hit. They'll get one hit by some guy that the Mets just called up.
Yeah.
Because the Mets are missing DeGrom. So I think the Braves are going to face probably Stroman and then Taijuan Walker and then a bunch of nobodies. A bunch of nobodies who will look amazing against.
Yeah, they'll one of them will no hit the Braves. And they'll get like 2 hits, but they'll win like 22-3, like the first game or something.
That's now their thing is like the offense explodes and it's like, is this the turning point? And then it's like, no, they get 1 hit the next game.
Yeah, that's what they do.
So that's kind of and the
Dodgers story.
We don't have to get too deep into it, but I just wrote down that I just read a story today that the Dodgers apparently the majority of the clubhouse wants nothing to do with Trevor Bauer. They don't ever want him back, even though his legal stuff's still up in the air. I think they have made up their mind. Yeah.
Is that a combination of his legal stuff and his annoying personality? Is it just strictly because they just don't want to be associated with a guy who does that type of stuff?
I don't know. I think it was like anonymous. someone who had insider knowledge of the clubhouse said that. So probably a player. I don't know. I didn't get the full gist, but I imagine his personality didn't help him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you could easily see it being a case where they're like, I hate this guy, but he's a really good pitcher, so I'll tolerate him. And then as soon as these allegations came out, you're like, well, I already hate this guy. And now I found out he's a total scumbag. So yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, I heard that the Dodgers thought the other players thought he was just too talented musically, and that they were upset by that. And they were like, he's gonna like leave in the middle of the playoffs to go like record an album.
Yeah,
so we don't want him here.
Apparently, he brought his axe, his guitar, into the clubhouse and melted their faces with a little across time and space. And from what I've heard, Justin Turner cried for 3 days and couldn't even play. So, like, yeah, once it's that, and then you're allegedly the perpetrator of a violent assault. Those two things you just can't. You know,
that's pretty distracting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the AL or the NL West is the one to watch. The Braves continue their tough stretch coming up. They're probably going to be meddling, I would imagine. I think the Red Sox took 3 out of 4 against the Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees are falling apart, man.
Yeah, not
Didn't
good.
They had a no-hitter going, and then they lost that. They were winning like 4-0 with into the 7th, and I think it was Domingo Germán was pitching a no-hitter, and they ended up losing that game to the Red Sox.
Yes, that's correct.
Domingo Germán, another Class A citizen who
good guy.
treats his loved ones well.
Oh, the Yankees got Aroldis Chapman, another classy gentleman.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the trade deadline's coming this Friday at 4 p.m. So we'll see if there's any more big moves coming, but I don't know.
Yeah, the hot stove is going to close after this week. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting. It seems like the Cubs will be selling off their best guys. So
yeah, I think so.
Marlins are probably going to sell a couple guys too. So check it out. But did we want to cover a little?
The Super League that's coming to the United States in college.
Yeah,
it's basically the same thing. So for those of you who haven't kept up, the Southeastern Conference, the best conference of college football, is going to be adding 2 new teams to it. Those being the Oklahoma Sooners and the University of Texas Longhorns, to create basically a super conference and destroy the Big 12.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I don't really like it as a fan of college football. I don't know. I feel like I just feel like college football has, over the last 20 years, has become a haves versus have-nots, extreme 1%er sport. And this is just going to exacerbate that, where there's just going to be one super conference and everybody else, basically. I don't know. It's weird, man.
I'm not a fan. The fun part about college football was always the rivalries, the traditional rivalries, and those are gone, because of realignment and the business and all that. I mean, hell, the bowl games are all sponsorship things now. It's no more Cotton Bowl, it's like the AT&T Cotton Bowl, whatever, it's all the fun traditionalist stuff that our generation and older grew up loving. That's been gone. This move, and this isn't, I heard this, other people talking about this on another television show, but I think this move stinks. And I think what just needs to happen is college football needs to basically turn into the NFL, and kind of follow a schedule like that. And I think that would work. And I think it would be fun. I think if college football really wanted to make money and make this like, what they're doing rather than this. You do like a league, sort of like the NFL, and you also have relegation and promotion, sort of like in soccer. And because like, let's be honest, like Kansas is never going to win. Vanderbilt's never going to win. You know what I mean? Like Oregon State's, you have no chance. Like the way things are, you have no chance. Why not make it like so that you can still play in your league and win your title, you know, like the championship or whatever of like the second tier, and let the rich boys win. And every now and then maybe you shoot up. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. So by like an NFL schedule, what do you mean? Just make like a 32 league super
I had
conference?
I like the way they were explaining it, and I could be getting this wrong. I should have written it down, but I was like watching it on TV the other day. It was something like 40. You get 40 teams, like you get like 30 or 40 teams, and then you have a 16 team playoff at the end of the season. And if you want to add the element of like the soccer element or whatever, like the bottom 3, the bottom 5 or whatever can drop down, you know, and then you have the other teams play a league of their own, you know, and you have a few come up and then a few drop down, and that way you can monetize the playoffs. You can, you know, you forget about playing like, you know, Jacksonville State or Valdosta State. You just immediately start playing in this league, and you play good teams, and you determine the best team that way.
I mean, yeah, that sounds better than this like insanely unbalanced thing we're gonna have now. Like, yeah, if Texas and Oklahoma join the SEC, yeah, like how is Vanderbilt and Mississippi State and
Tennessee and South Carolina and
like it's
Ole Miss,
like I mean. It's crazy because like take the 2 Mississippi schools for example. Like they have been in the SEC forever basically, and they're going to be in a situation where they might have to play Oklahoma and Texas every year, which are like 2 of the wealthiest. They already have to play like Bama and LSU every season, and now we're gonna add Oklahoma and Texas to the mix. And it's all about money.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, they're just like crapping on everything that has made college football awesome for so long. It's, I don't like it. I don't like it.
And then the Big 12 is gone. Like they're already like not even 12 teams there as we speak, but what do they do going forward? You know, they have to dissolve because it's like, adding UCF and Utah and these other teams, like they've said, like that's not going to do anything.
Right.
They're never going to make the playoff. The only team that made the playoff out of that league was Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fan. I don't approve. I think it's lame. I didn't like adding Missouri or Texas A&M.
Exactly. I didn't like that. And now this is even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks. It's going to be weird.
Is there any upside to it, or do you think it's all down?
It's all money. It's
right.
The upside is the SEC is going to get more TV revenue, and those guys will get richer. But I mean, what would be the upside? Because like,
I don't know. That's why I'm curious.
If we keep everything the same, Ohio State's going to the playoff for the Big Ten, and we know that. Out west, it'll probably be Oregon or USC, and then the other 2 will have to be SEC teams, I would imagine. Or actually, no, because you have Clemson.
Well, at this point, though, aren't they? It's pretty much a sure thing that they're expanding to like an 8 or 12 team playoff too. I think.
Yeah,
I know there have been a lot of rumblings about that. So they're going to expand the playoff. But I mean, I guess to try and see the upside, I mean, it's going to make for more. You're going to get to see like Alabama play Texas or Alabama play LSU play Oklahoma every season or something, you know, like that could be cool, I guess. So, you know, so I guess there could be some fun parts about it, but just the broader implication for like what it means for college football as a whole is not good. But I guess it could make some fun regular season matchups that you know would only happen every now and then.
But my argument to that because it was like similar to the Super League. It was kind of like, because they only happened every now and then, that's what made it kind of fun and
for
like
sure.
kind of extra. But you're right. Yeah, we're going to get those more frequently. But then how does that throw off the rest of the schedule? Because like the SEC, when they added A&M in Missouri, it was this whole headache and debate because there's these traditional cross division rivalries that people didn't want to lose. Like Georgia Auburn is such a traditional game that adding teams, like that rotation gets thrown off. Like Tennessee, Alabama play every year and have since like whenever, you know? And those games are no longer gonna, I don't know how it's gonna work. I mean, it's gonna get thrown off, and that kind of sucks because, like, again, the fun of it is this whole old school traditional thing that's always kind of been done.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, you're just throwing all that stuff out the window basically, because there's no way you can keep those same schedules that you've traditionally had. So yeah, you're just dumping all of that just to get an even richer TV deal.
Yeah, that's all it is. You're just getting more markets.
Yeah. So yeah, and it also, like, I mean, they're expanding the playoff. It seems like that hasn't officially happened yet, but it's all but a sure thing from what I've seen. So college football is just the way we grew up with it and what we knew it as is going to be totally different because once they expand the playoff, and maybe that's the right thing to do at this point, but like when we were kids, you know, you had to like go have like a perfect season or maybe a 1-loss season to win a national championship. Now, especially with the super conference where all these super teams are going to be like knocking each other off, and there are going to be multiple lost teams making it into the playoffs. It's just going to be a different thing. It's not going to be quite the same thing of like you had to win every single regular season game was huge because you had to be perfect or almost perfect to win a national championship. Like now, you know, if Bama loses their regular season games to LSU and Oklahoma, they'll still make the playoff, you know, like it's just the college football that we've all always known is not going to exist.
And I think this is just the beginning because I don't think the Big Ten or ACC are going to stand pat. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
they're going to throw money at other schools to break away from the whatever conference and join them, you know, because like they're going to try to compete. Like, I don't, you know, I could see like the Big Ten trying to lure like Clemson, you know, I don't know, some other big teams because like Clemson dominates the ACC every year. So it's like, why not come here? There's a ton of money. Or out west, you know what I mean? Like, this is the beginning of it. That's why it's like, you know what? Let's just make this a freaking NFL 2 and figure it out that way. Cause I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks.
It's going to be crazy. Yeah. Cause like, yeah, the ACC only has Clemson and the Big Ten used to be so much more competitive, but now it's just like Ohio State.
And every now and then Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Every now and then. And they never win anything.
Exactly. And so it's like, yeah, those conferences and those schools are going to want to, like Ohio State and Clemson are looking at this being like, well, I want to be in a super conference, you know, like,
right.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Oof. And real quick, because we're way past our time, but not way past, but we're past our time. I want to touch on real quick the NFL too, with their new mandate saying that, you know, basically telling teams that if you have a COVID outbreak on your team and it causes you to miss a game the way they did last season, you will forfeit that game. You'll take the loss and you'll pay for the expenses of the other team. You'll be responsible for the expenses of the other team and the lost revenue that would have come from that game. So that's creating a lot of buzz and stir amongst NFL players and coaches right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a de facto vaccination mandate, which is interesting because once that was announced, you realize just how many NFL players are anti-vax.
Yeah, it's the most conservative league. and coaches, because the coach of the Vikings said the assistant coach said he wouldn't.
Yeah,
he'd retire basically.
Well, yeah, I think they're like letting him go. Like the assistant O-line coach on the Vikings, they were basically like, well, then if you're not going to get vaccinated, then we have to part ways.
But it's like,
so
I want to, you got to make it clear, like the NFL isn't doing this for safety. They're not doing it because they care about the players or the coaches. They're doing it because they don't want to lose money. They don't want to lose games. They don't want to lose revenue. That's why they're doing it. Like, don't be fooled and be like, oh, they care. They don't care. That's the league that cares the least about its players. They're just doing this because they don't want to lose any of the Sunday money. And they're
kind of accidentally right on this issue. The fact that they're, it's like they're trying to force guys to get vaccinated. That's really just a byproduct of them trying to protect their money.
Yeah. And they're being clever and working around it by saying, like, you have a choice. You don't have to get vaccinated. Just don't have an outbreak. You know what I mean? Because like you can try it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
because if they really care, they wouldn't have fans in the stadium either. You know what I mean? Like if they're really that worried about the vaccine,
those are going to be packed.
They're going to be packed. They're sold out. It's like they just want to they just don't want to lose money. That's all it is. It's all a scam like that.
Agreed. One other thing that we didn't touch on that I think, so real quick, so the Oakland A's are threatening to leave Oakland. Is that right?
Yeah, they've been wanting a new stadium for years, and Las Vegas has shown up again and said, like, yeah, we'll do whatever you guys want if you want to come here. A lot of people are saying it's just a leverage move once again, so that the city of Oakland will take taxpayer money and build them a nice new facility.
I mean, that would be a bummer because Oakland's already lost two major teams. They lost the Warriors to San Francisco and the Raiders to Las Vegas. Hopefully they do that. I mean, because they are playing in a football stadium,
right?
So
I think they're the last team too. Yeah,
and there's not even a football team anymore. So
right.
I personally would like to see them stay in Oakland, but hey, that's actually they were originally a Philadelphia team, so
right.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, and I get that they want a new stadium, but it also sucks how these teams can extort taxpayers,
especially when the owners have so much money that they could build it and it wouldn't affect them in any way. They're basically doing what the Florida Marlins did a few years ago when they got Marlins Park built or whatever, because they were threatening to leave
Depot Park. Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, it was Marlins Park at one point.
It was Marlins Park until like 3 months ago or something.
Yeah. But they were threatening to leave the city as well, and they did the whole thing, and they got it to work out. So they're kind of using the same tactics and the same
right
thing.
Because it all goes back to what's his nuts from the Brooklyn Dodgers, who threatened and they didn't take him seriously. They thought he was bluffing, and then now they're O'Malley. That's right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway. We're over time, but wanted to touch on that because I just realized it was like at the top of our list of things and we never discussed it. So
right.
Old Moneyball athletics.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one question I have before we go too, why do so many athletes, like so many top athletes, hawk Subway on television? Because Subway sucks. Let's be honest. I mean, I eat there, and like I've eaten there plenty of times, but it's not good.
I'm ashamed and scared for my own body because I haven't eaten at a Subway in a long time, but I used to eat there quite a bit, and it's now come out because one thing I'll say, their cookies are
great. That is one thing they do know how to do. You're right,
but the fact that it came out that their tuna is not actually even tuna,
right?
And I've eaten that tuna.
I have too. And their bread isn't bread according to Ireland.
Bread is not bread. And I even heard that they found yoga mat material in the bread. Don't know how that happened.
That's right.
So it's fully known that it's a garbage operation. But you're right.
Not to mention
I think-
Jared.
The
The association with Jared.
their spokesperson,
Yeah.
former spokesperson.
For right now, they have Serena Williams, Steph Curry, Megan Rapinoe, Tom Brady, and I'm forgetting someone else, all doing commercials for them.
they
I
tricked.
think they know that their food is like poison, so they want people to have like the opposite association and see all these extremely healthy people, like
Right.
associate it with Serena Williams, not yoga.
Right, and they tricked. That's been their marketing technique going way back. I mean, obviously starting with like Jared, is they were like, yeah, it's healthy. It's the healthy option. It's fresh.
No, but my thing is like, it's not on the Subway end. It's like Tom Brady doesn't eat strawberries, but he's agreeing to do Subway, and I know it's like they're getting paid, but like, I don't know, man. It's like, you have all these athletes have so much money. You can pick and choose what you
They don't
promote.
give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They're
So it's
building
just-
their cryogenic
It's insane.
chamber.
It's just insane. It's insane to me. I don't if like Steph Curry, you're better than that, man. Come on.
They must be throwing a ton of money at this.
Yeah.
Because there's no way Tom Brady has taken a bite of a Subway sandwich in like the last 20 years.
He never will.
Yeah.
No, it's
It's
Yeah.
weird because like they keep showing that commercial a lot, and it's just like, and Steph Curry's in one now too, and he can't remember the steak and cheese as being a sub for some reason in it. It's weird. It's
well, it's hard to
bizarre.
remember.
It is. But anyway, I just wanted to ask the question because it bugs me every time I see it.
There's probably some Epstein money floating around.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, there's a lot more things we didn't get to, but I think that's gonna wrap it up for another classic up.
Oh yeah. Look,
Jim,
I
good
wanna
luck on your-
apologize. Yeah, I want to apologize to our surfs for not being on camera this week. But I just want to, say again, just keep an eye on your newspapers for an exciting, explosive story involving me. And let's just say I hope to be here next week, but I can't make any promises.
Right.
Good luck, Jimmy. We're praying for you, bud.
We're praying for you, dude.
Thank you.
Also, real quick, I wanna give a shout out and wish our producer Kyle a happy birthday. Some of you guys might know him as Speedy Petey. I hope he's getting his little butt spanked by all his family and friends the way you do on birthdays.
Sure.
Spank that butt, family.
Spank that
Yeah.
butt.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bud. And also check out the Worldwide Sports Radio Network and the app and all the other shows. Just go to the website, check them out. It's linked in our thing too, so you know what to do. And eat Subway, eat fresh.
Mhm.
And Rocket Mortgage is good to sponsor teams. And we'll see you guys next week for another classic app,
See you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye everyone.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.